Imagine a world where universities no longer require students to do homework. This thought might seem radical to many, as homework has been an integral part of education systems for centuries. From elementary school to graduate programs, assignments outside the classroom have traditionally been a means for students to deepen their understanding, practice skills, and engage with material independently. But what if this foundational aspect of university education was completely abolished? How would this transformation affect students, professors, the quality of education, and society at large? To begin with, consider the immediate effect on students' daily lives. Without homework, students would experience a significant reduction in their academic workload outside of lectures and seminars. This would free up hours that are currently spent poring over problem sets, essays, research papers, and case studies. For many students, especially those juggling part-time jobs, family responsibilities, or mental health challenges, this reduction could be a welcome relief. They might find more time to engage in social activities, pursue personal passions, or simply rest, an often neglected aspect of student life. However, while the removal of homework might seem like a break from stress and deadlines, it also risks depriving students of structured opportunities to reinforce and apply what they learn in class. Homework is not merely busy work. It is designed to deepen understanding through repetition, problem solving, critical thinking, and reflection. For example, in disciplines like mathematics, engineering, and physics, repeated practice of problem sets helps solidify theoretical concepts. In humanities and social sciences, writing essays and analyzing readings outside class enhances analytical skills and encourages intellectual exploration. Without these assignments, students might find it challenging to internalize complex ideas or develop the discipline required to study independently. Moreover, homework often acts as a feedback mechanism. Through graded assignments, professors can assess where students struggle and adjust teaching methods accordingly. The absence of homework would limit such checkpoints, potentially leading to gaps in knowledge going unnoticed until final exams. From the perspective of faculty, the elimination of homework would necessitate a fundamental overhaul of teaching strategies. Professors would have to maximize the effectiveness of limited classroom hours. One likely outcome would be an increased adoption of interactive, student-centered learning methods, such as flipped classrooms, project-based learning, and experiential education. In a flipped classroom model, students engage with lecture content before class through videos or readings, while classroom time is dedicated to discussion, problem-solving, and hands-on activities. This shift could enhance engagement and understanding if executed well, but it also requires considerable effort and resources to develop quality materials and facilitate dynamic class sessions. Faculty members may need training in new pedagogical techniques and support in integrating technology effectively. Universities would have to invest in infrastructure like learning management systems, virtual labs, and collaborative platforms to support these methods. Another critical issue is assessment. Traditionally, homework contributes significantly to course grades, balancing the pressure of high-stakes exams. Without homework, professors might have to rely more heavily on midterms, finals, and in-class activities to evaluate student performance. This could increase exam anxiety and disadvantage students who do not test well. Alternatively, continuous assessment might shift towards presentations, group projects, or portfolios, emphasizing skills like communication, teamwork, and creativity. Interestingly, removing homework could promote greater educational equity. Homework often exacerbates disparities because students from lower socioeconomic backgrounds may lack quiet study spaces, access to internet and resources, or parental support. The pressure to complete assignments under such constraints can increase stress and hinder academic success. Eliminating homework could level the playing field by reducing these external barriers. However, this benefit comes with a cautionary note. The absence of compulsory assignments might lead to lower overall effort among some students who lack self-motivation or study skills. This could widen achievement gaps if proactive support systems are not implemented. Universities would need to provide mentorship, study skills workshops, and academic counseling to encourage independent learning habits. The question of student autonomy and responsibility looms large. Homework cultivates essential life skills such as time management, self-discipline, and perseverance. qualities that are vital beyond academia. Without external deadlines and assignments, students must develop intrinsic motivation to stay on track with their studies. This shift may benefit some but challenge others. Educational institutions would need to foster these traits through alternative means such as reflective journaling, goal-setting exercises, or experiential learning opportunities. Technology could play a pivotal role in this new landscape. With no homework assignments, digital tools might take center stage in facilitating learning outside of class. Adaptive learning software, virtual simulations, and interactive quizzes can provide personalized feedback and practice opportunities. These tools can tailor content to individual student needs, pacing, and learning styles, potentially making up for the lack of traditional homework. However, an over-reliance on technology might raise concerns about screen time, accessibility, and data privacy. Not all students have equal access to high-speed internet or devices, which could create new inequities. Universities would need to ensure that digital solutions are inclusive, user-friendly, and complemented by human guidance. Critics of removing homework often highlight the risk of declining academic rigor and standards. Homework has long been seen as a means to instill a strong work ethic and discipline. Without the accountability provided by regular assignments, some fear students may become complacent, producing lower quality work and gaining a superficial understanding of material. This debate touches on the fundamental purpose of higher education, whether it is primarily about acquiring knowledge, developing critical skills, or earning credentials. Moreover, homework encourages repeated engagement with material over time, which is proven to enhance retention and mastery. Eliminating it may undermine long-term learning outcomes and critical thinking development. Professors would need to find ways to motivate students to engage deeply with content, possibly through incentives, active learning, and fostering curiosity. Social learning is another dimension affected by homework. Group projects, study sessions, and peer tutoring often revolve around assignments. These collaborative activities build communication skills, teamwork, and peer support networks essential for personal and professional development. Without homework, the nature of these interactions might change. Students could gravitate towards extracurricular clubs, research projects, or informal study groups to fulfill their need for social and intellectual engagement. Financially, universities could see a shift in how faculty time is allocated. Grading homework can be labor-intensive and time-consuming. Its removal might free instructors to devote more time to research, curriculum innovation, and direct student support. However, this might be offset by increased demands to design interactive classes, develop digital resources, and manage alternative assessments. Budget reallocations might be necessary to support technology adoption and professional development. The cultural significance of homework in academia cannot be overlooked. For many, completing homework is a rite of passage and a symbol of diligence and achievement. Its removal could challenge long-held traditions and expectations about what university education entails. Parents, students, and employers may question whether graduates possess the necessary discipline and problem-solving skills without the experience of managing assignments and deadlines. Conversely, a homework-free university system might better mirror real-world professional environments, where collaboration, innovation, and project management take precedence over rote tasks. This alignment could better prepare students for modern workplaces that emphasize creativity, adaptability, and interpersonal skills. On a broader scale, the abolition of homework at universities could ripple down to influence lower educational levels. If homework is deemed unnecessary in higher education, pressure may mount to reduce or eliminate it in high schools and even elementary schools. This shift could spark a global reevaluation of educational practices, prompting debates about optimal learning methods, assessment strategies, and student well-being. Mental health considerations are increasingly central in discussions about education. Homework has been linked to student stress, anxiety, and burnout, especially when assignments are excessive or poorly designed. Eliminating homework could alleviate these pressures, allowing students to maintain a healthier balance between academics, social life, and self-care. However, without clear structure and expectations, some students might struggle with procrastination and lack of motivation, potentially harming academic outcomes and mental well-being. The removal of homework might also open new avenues for experiential and applied learning. Universities could emphasize internships, cooperative education, service learning, and research projects that integrate theory and practice. Such approaches have shown promise in enhancing employability, critical thinking, and civic engagement by immersing students in real-world problems and collaborative environments. Academic integrity poses another challenge. Homework assignments provide a controlled setting for learning and evaluation, but are also susceptible to cheating and plagiarism. Without homework, these issues may shift to exams or other assessments, necessitating robust policies and technologies to ensure fairness. Proctoring software, plagiarism detection tools, and honor codes would become even more crucial. Internationally, the impact of removing homework in universities would be uneven. Different countries have diverse educational philosophies and assessment systems. Some rely heavily on continuous coursework, while others emphasize final exams. Eliminating homework could standardize practices in some regions or exacerbate disparities in others, affecting student mobility, global rankings, and international collaborations. The potential environmental impact should also be considered. Homework often involves printing large volumes of paper and other resources. Reducing or removing assignments could lower the environmental footprint of universities, aligning with sustainability goals. On the other hand, increased reliance on digital tools may shift environmental costs to energy consumption and electronic waste. In conclusion, the abolition of homework in universities would mark a profound transformation with complex and far-reaching consequences. While it could reduce student stress, promote equity, and encourage innovation in teaching, it also risks undermining learning quality, skill development, and academic rigor. Success would depend on thoughtful implementation, investment in pedagogy and technology, and a cultural shift in how we perceive education. This scenario invites us to question the essence of learning and the role of universities. Is homework an indispensable tool for mastering knowledge and building character? Or is it an outdated practice hindering deeper engagement and well-being? As education evolves to meet the needs of a rapidly changing world, these questions will shape the future of higher learning. Thank you for watching this exploration. If you found it insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth discussions on education, innovation, and societal change.